What's up everybody, Intervape here, welcome back. Today I'm foregoing my usual energy drink in favor of an adult beverage because I am celebrating. I managed to complete the Balance Druid Mage Tower Challenge, and today I'm going to show you how to do it as well. Alright, in this video I'm going to show you the gear, talents, and strategies that I used to complete this challenge. But before I do that, I want to get a few things out of the way. Who is this video for? Well, it's not for really high-end expert Balance Druid players. I'm sure that you all have amazing strategies on how to beat this and to do it a lot more effectively than I did. Great, go make your own videos. This video is for people like myself who are anywhere from brand new to just plain terrible at Balance Druid. I played Balance Druid for a hot minute in this expansion, basically long enough just to get this challenge done. So that involved me loot specking into Balance for a raid or two, picking up 1 or 2 legendaries that I tried out and really ended up not even using. So this is really for someone who just wants to get in, get this done, and get out, and has no interest in being an expert level Balance Druid. If that's you, keep on watching. Alright, let's go over talents. My talent setup is up on the screen right now, and I'm going to tell you why I chose each one of these. So Star-Lord I picked because I think it's pretty good in general, and it's a passive, so you don't have to worry about casting it. Anytime I'm trying out a spec that I'm not familiar with and there's a passive talent that's also pretty good, I'm probably going to go with that talent just to make things easier. Second row, you have to go with Displacer Beast for this challenge. I don't think it's even an option here. This is vital for the amount of kiting that you have to do in this challenge. Third row, I've seen some guys that recommend Restoration Affinity, and then, in my experience, I think Feral is the better way to go. The move speed increase is a huge help for this fight. So your mileage may vary, but I think Feral's the way to go here. Level 60 talent tier, Typhoon is my choice, and I think it should be your choice. The knockback effect of Typhoon is going to come in very handy throughout this fight, as well as the short cooldown. All right, level 75 talent tier. You really should be going with Soul of the Forest here. If you have the Soul of the Archdruid Legendary, which is what I used for this challenge, then also go ahead and pick up Incarnation for the extra damage boost. But if you don't have that legendary, then Soul of the Forest is what you want. For the level 90 talent tier, I started out with Blessing of the Ancients, and I pulled this a few times with Blessing, and it just didn't really feel good. I read a few guides, and they recommended switching over to Shooting Stars. And within 2 pulls of trying out Shooting Stars, I managed to complete it. So that's my recommendation. I think that's the way to go. And then final row, it's vital, like not even a discussion, to use Stellar Drift. Stellar Drift for this challenge is the only way to go. So make sure you have that equipped. You'll see why later on. All right, let's take a look at my gear. Now this is the part of the video where I might be accused of showing off. I'm showing you my gear so that you can compare it to what you have and make the best choices from your own gear. It's by no means required that you have all the stuff that I have. I'm not even really that high. I'm 953 equipped on this character, but here are the important gear items. If you have them, I would recommend using these. First, Pride As. I tried this fight with a couple of different Balance Druid legendaries. I only had a few to choose from because, like I said, I haven't really played this spec at all. I found that Pride As was kind of a get out of jail free card for a few of the encounters, and it's definitely what I would recommend using because, survivability is really important here. For the second one, if you have it as an option, I'd recommend Solo the Arch Druid because it does give you that free talent in row 75. So you'll get Soul of the Forest for free, which will let you pick up Incarnation as an extra DPS boost. Beyond that, just put on the best gear you have. Try to get your item level up as high as you can. Get some decent trinkets. Dump some power into your artifact weapon. Get geared up and get ready to go. All right, before we go through the full walkthrough, let's look at the mechanics. There are really only a few things that you have to worry about in this fight. The challenge comes from how they overlap and how you deal with them. So the first thing that you're going to have to deal with is a guy called Karam Mage Spear. He's one of the twins that you are thwarting, and he's going to chase you around like a bastard for this entire fight. He kind of runs at you slowly, but then occasionally he'll like charge at you a little faster. That's why Feral Affinity is pretty important here, I think, because it gives you a little bit more move speed. And he's really one of the main challenges of this encounter. You just have to kite him around and keep him off of you. If you let him get too close to you, this happens. It hurts real bad, so try to avoid that. If he does get too close to you, use Typhoon to knock him back or use your Displacer Beast to get away. When you damage Karam down to 33% health, he'll cast an ability called Purgatory, and then he'll become immune to damage. He'll start healing back up. There's nothing you can do about that. And at that point, Karam's brother, Raced, becomes active, and you can damage him. After Karam heals all the way back up to 70% health, he'll start chasing you again, and Raced will be immune to damage. So you have to repeat the process of damaging Karam down to 33% health. But this time, you'll have to deal with adds and other mechanics while you're doing that, while you're kiting him around. And your objective is, again, to knock him back down to 33% health, at which point he'll go into Purgatory again. You'll have to damage Race. And you have to do this a total of 3 times. The last time that Karam is chasing you, is the final part of the encounter, and at that point you don't want to worry about damaging Karam anymore. You just want to focus on Raced. Raced is actually your objective in the fight. You have to kill him to beat the encounter. Doesn't matter whether you kill Karam or not. So the third and final time that Karam is fixated and chasing you, you can just ignore him and focus all your attacks on Raced. Okay, the next mechanic that you're going to have to deal with are the adds that spawn. There are Shadow Fiends and Shadow Vestiges that will spawn at certain points in the encounter. The Shadow Vestiges have less health, and there's one Shadow Fiend kind of clumped in with them. So you primarily want to AoE these guys down using Starfall, Sunfire, and Lunar Strike. But it's also a good idea to selectively target the Shadow Fiend because he does have more health. So if you can kind of focus on him while AoE the other guys down, then it'll work out a lot better for you. Okay, third mechanic. At certain points throughout the fight, a Hand from Beyond will spawn. As soon as this thing spawns, it starts a long cast called Grasp from Beyond. If the cast finishes, it does a crap load of damage. So your number one goal should be to kill these things to priority, single target them down. But if for whatever reason you're not able to do that, then you want to interrupt them. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to interrupt them all because they're going to spawn a lot quicker than your interrupt will come off cooldown. So mastering being able to single target them down and kill them, and then interrupting as a last resort is definitely what you want to do here. Okay, and the last mechanic that you need to deal with are the runes that spawn on the ground. Later on in the fight, a purple rune will spawn. You just have to go stand in it. and you have to stand in it until it collapses and goes away. It's called a Rune of Summoning. If you don't stand in it, if you don't soak it, then this like nightmare terror fiend guy spawns, and he has like 110 million health, and he chases you around, and it's basically just over at that point. All right, and that's really the only mechanics you need to know. You're now ready to do the encounter. Okay, let's walk through this fight. So you're gonna zone in here. As soon as I zone in, I like to walk over to the right here and off of this little hill. While the twins are arguing with each other, go ahead and get your buffs up. So food, haste or mastery food should be fine, or a feast if you want to invest that. Pop an augment rune and an intellect flask. So from what I can tell, these fart-faced twins here, Raced is a real evil dickhead, and Karam like is trying to stop him, and Raced like mind controls him and turns him evil. So Karam is going to charge at you. So you want to start out back here where I'm at so that you have a lot of time to get casts off on him. So immediately Moonfire, and then I'm just going to start building Astral Power by dropping moons on his head. So once I've done that, my job now is going to be to kite him around the outer platform here. Now, I did this fight a few times without even knowing that I could come out here. I thought it would be like out of bounds or whatever, but it's actually not, and this is your best friend. So once you've built up your Astral Power, what you want to do is cast Starfall out in front of you, and then walk through it. Since you have the Stellar Drift talent, you're going to use the time that you're walking through it to kind of stutter step and strafe him, and cast Solar Wrath and Lunar Strike, and occasionally drop a moon on him to keep your Astral Power built up. And you're just going to kite him around this platform. It's super easy. Stellar Drift makes all the difference in the world. It can get a little tricky with line of sight and trying to strafe, so this may take a little bit of practice, but you should be old hat at it in no time. So when he starts to get to around the like 45% health mark, you want to go ahead and lead him back up the hill here. And it may take you like, a little bit of trial and error to figure out the right path. As you can see, it did me. But your goal is to get Karam back up into this main arena before he hits 33% health. Now, I can't stress that enough because Karam's positioning is going to influence where the Hand from Beyond is going to spawn later. So if you leave him out there on the outer edge, then you're going to have a terrible time picking up the Hand from Beyond when you need to interrupt it or single target it down. All right, so once Karam hits 33%, he's going to kneel down, he's going to go immune, and now for the first time you can fight Raced. So go ahead and dot up Raced, and as soon as Raced is available for fighting, also the ads are up now. So you'll remember from the discussion we had about the mechanics earlier, you want to just AoE these shadowy vestiges down, but you also want to prioritize the shadowy fiend. So maybe drop a moon on the shadowy fiend while you're AoEing down the vestiges. At this point in the fight, you should always be casting Starfall. So your goal now, once you've brought Karam back up onto the main platform, is Starfall, run around the outer edge of the Starfall using your Stellar Drift, and cast your other spells to build your Astral Power back up. Prioritize whatever targets you need to based on what's up. So if there's a Hand up, obviously you prioritize the Hand. If Karam is up, you prioritize him. But you should never not have a Starfall down at this point. All right, so the Hand is up now. I'm going to single target down the Hand before Grasp from Beyond completes, so that's great. I saved my interrupt, and I'm just going to continue to kite Karam around while doing my best to keep Starfall down. The Starfall damage is also very helpful on the hand. Make sure that you have a Starfall down on top of the hand whenever possible. Your main source of damage when the hand is up is going to be, Moons and Star Surge and Starfall. So ideally, you'll have a Starfall down already when the hand spawns. Then you'll be able to put some distance between you and Karam. You'll be able to drop a Moon on the hand, and then you'll be able to Star Surge until it's dead. All right, you can see here I'm managing the ads, and now I have a Rune of Summoning that I have to stand in. So I've done that, continuing to keep Starfall down to manage the ads and to give me the Stellar Drift buff.
Run away, little girl. Run away.
4.
And I'm just kiting, so it's rinse and repeat at this point. Damage raced when he's up, and focus your damage on him and the ads and the hand, and just try to keep Karam away from you. If Karam hits you, you're going to be able to survive 1, maybe 2 hits, depending on your item level, and if you have Pride As available. But you definitely don't want to let that happen more than once, or not at all if you can avoid it. So as you can see here, my health is very low. I took some hits. It went badly. The hand has spawned, and just my Starfall alone and the damage over time that I have on Raced is slowly ticking him down. I go and single target down the hand, and just through the Starfall, that's all it took. Raced is dead, and the challenge is complete. So during that fight, I prioritized my Incarnation when I needed to do burst damage to the hand, and also had a lot of ads up. And I heroed there at the end when I needed the extra damage on Raced. But I was actually really surprised when I completed this, because I felt like things were getting out of control, because I had just taken that last big hit from Karam, and I felt like my run was over, and I was just kind of, finishing it out to finish it, and I managed to beat it. So really the lesson there is at the end, don't worry about damaging Karam, just focus on Raced, focus your damage on him, and he'll go down, and you'll get to dance like a big idiot chicken bird like I'm doing here, and then you'll get to go back to Dalaran and get your appearance for the Scythe of Elune. It's not my favorite appearance in the world. It's not bad, but more than anything, I was just happy to have the challenge done. So hopefully my guide here today will help you with this encounter, and you can get yours done as well. So let me know how things go, and good luck.